morning. Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of NAMI Maine Talks. My name is Julianne McLaughlin. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the manager of the Suicide Prevention Program here at NAMI Maine. And I am really excited to be here this morning with Deanne from Assistance Plus. Deanne, would you like to take a moment to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name's Deanne Ochoa-Durrell. I am the clinical director for Assistance Plus and have been working in primarily the mental health field for the last, 20-something years in Maine. So,
Wow, excellent. So, can you tell me a little bit more about what Assistance Plus is and what you folks do for the state of Maine?
absolutely. So, actually, we're an agency that has been around for quite some time, over 30 years. Started initially by John Bowen as a home care agency, primarily serving elders in kind of the Kennebec County area. And really expanded over the years. We continue to offer home health care, but also expanded into behavioral health services and services for adults with intellectual disabilities as well.
Excellent. That is really great. So, can you tell me a little bit about why you think Maine needs this resource?
Oh gosh, well, I mean, mental health is an issue for everyone, right? We all have, um, trying times and things that happen, and unfortunately, kind of horrible events can happen to anyone anytime. And sometimes people need, a pretty significant amount of support to kind of move forward after things like that. And so really anybody can use services at some point in their life.
That's really great. And it really is important because people do, as you say, need services at some point in their lives. So it's great to have something available for them. So, can you tell me a little bit about the services that you provide to individuals to help meet that need?
Mhm. So we actually offer services to people really for the lifespan at this point. So starting with children, we offer children's case management services. And that's a service that really helps kind of link parents, children, and families to other community resources that might be beneficial to them. Also helps advocate if kids need help in school or things like that. So we kind of start there. And then going all the way up through, we also offer adult case management services for individuals with mental health challenges that might be going on. We offer in-home support services for adults who need a little bit of extra help kind of managing their home. And we offer now relatively new substance use treatment services as well through an opioid health home. So for folks with opioid use disorder.
Oh, great. That's really wonderful. So, well, Deanna, I did hear recently that you launched a combined OHH and medication management practice. Would you like to tell me a little bit more about that?
Sure. It actually initially started with our opioid health home,
Hmm.
and so we have that's an integrated service where there's a team of people who work to support adults with opioid use disorder. And because we had a prescriber available as part of that team, we are also able to offer medication management for adults. At this point, we're hoping to expand that.
Oh, great.
Um, but for individuals with other psychiatric needs who maybe want to try medications,
Okay.
need a provider to talk that through with and do that for them.
Oh, that's really wonderful. I'm glad that you're able to provide that resource to individuals. So, what drew you to doing this type of work?
Well, me specifically, I think just I have family and friends that have experienced mental health issues and traumatic events and things like that. Gosh, probably my whole life I've sort of had that experience. Um, and even though like this wasn't always my first choice of career, I'm really glad I ended up here because I love working with people.
Well, thank you so much for bringing yourself to this work and your experience. It's really valuable. And, I know it can be very difficult and thankless to do some of this work sometimes. So, what keeps you coming back to it?
Absolutely always the people.
Mhm.
Both the people that I work with professionally and coworkers and, just people in the community. I think just it's an amazing opportunity to be part of people's stories and their lives, and so that keeps me coming back all the time.
That's really great. I really can feel your care and passion as you're talking about it. So, thank you for bringing that to the table. So, what can the audience do as they're listening today if they want to support your work?
I think there's lots of ways people can support the work that folks do. I think by definitely, learning more about mental health. I think if, somebody's listening to this or watching this, then that's a step in the right direction. I think also learning about substance use, any kind of, behavioral health issue, just knowing more about that and having that compassion for people in the community who are struggling with these things all the time.
With the increasing need for mental health services in Maine, as we've seen each year, can you tell me a little bit more about why Maine needs this resource to help them out?
Well, Maine, and I would say probably this is a national issue too, but
Yeah.
Maine in particular needs this resource because, we are a state that is challenged by geography, right? We're very rural. Much of the area that we serve is very rural, and people are pretty isolated sometimes.
Mhm.
And, we're not a state with this vast array of public transportation and things like that. So,
Right.
yeah, so people, I think, have some additional challenges, and having appropriate services can really help them to be able to problem solve those kinds of things and connect with people when they need to and get the kind of services that they need. And it's a difficult thing to navigate sometimes.
Yes, absolutely, it is. So, can you tell me a bit more about your behavioral health service program as it helps to meet the need?
Yeah, so our case management program is basically our behavioral health home program. And so, again, that's an integrated service. It's um, primarily a case manager that works with either an adult or a child and family. Um, and their main role is really to connect people with community resources that they might need, whether that's a primary care doctor or um, a therapist or a medication management provider or really anything like
Right.
programs that folks can benefit from. But there is also a component of that service that includes some nurse care management.
Hmm.
So there's a nurse who works with the team and can help kind of navigate some of the medical things that might be happening or medication related things that might be happening for people, and also kind of helps keep track of, are people getting the services that they need? Is there kind of a gap somewhere? And can we help with that? And then there's also a peer support component that is a part of that program. There's adult peer support providers who can go in and work directly with folks who are part of that program. And then there are family support providers who work with children and families, and can be it's an additional person to provide some emotional support, some logistical support, either for a family that's trying to navigate their child's mental health issues or for an adult who's trying to navigate a system.
So, I understand that your organization, Assistance Plus, also offers some long term care services. Can you tell me a bit more about what that is and what it does for individuals who are looking for it?
Absolutely. So the long-term care services that we offer are really personal support services, and so they're for folks who need some assistance with personal care. And so often people associate that with our elder population, um, which, absolutely, I would say probably the majority of the folks that we serve are older people who are living at home and they need a little help to do that. So people will go in and they do some light housekeeping. They might prepare meals. They might help do some grocery shopping, make sure somebody took their medications, that kind of thing. But also, there are definitely folks who we wouldn't consider typical elders who also need help with those kinds of things. And so, anybody who qualifies for that service, we're able to work with. Um, and our team really, again, it's kind of a wide coverage area, but it's very individualized to the person and their home community, like where they're living.
That's really great. And it's really great to be able to offer that support, to be able to keep people in their homes and help them stay there, because I think that can really help with mental health and
Absolutely.
feeling more comfortable and happier. So, can you tell me how that is distinguishable from your daily living support program?
Sure. So daily living supports are actually that's a specific mental health service. So
Okay.
that's for individuals who have some mental health challenges and who are struggling with some day-to-day things. And so the person really kind of goes in and does some side-by-side work with a person again in their home, right, in the community. So rather than doing housekeeping for the person, they're going to do that beside you and kind of help you to do whatever you need to do for your daily routine, whether it's taking out the trash or making sure your kitchen's cleaned up, doing dishes, those kinds of things. But they're not going to be kind of involved in like bathing or things like that. Whereas long-term care services, that is something that they might do. But it's much more focused on helping people deal with their mental health symptoms
Okay.
on a day-to-day basis and still do all of the daily tasks that we all have to do every day.
Yep. And those can be really the most difficult things to manage when we're
Absolutely.
struggling. So that is really great to be able to offer that resource to help people get through those small tasks or what feels like a small task in that really hard moment.
Absolutely. Yes. And sometimes those small tasks, right, when we're struggling with mental health, we might neglect them a little bit and then they build up and build up and build up and that can create a lot of stress for people.
Yeah, at some point it can just feel really overwhelming to have those things build up. And it can also feel overwhelming to have those things and not be able to do them. So
Absolutely.
having that support is really invaluable. So thank you. How can I stay connected to your organization?
Well, we have several options for that. We have our own website, assistanceplus.com. We also have a Facebook page, so they can certainly follow us on Facebook. Um, and on our website, there's ways to contact us, little contact us button through there as well.
Perfect. That is great. Thank you so much for sharing that. And is there anything else you'd like to share today that we maybe haven't touched on?
I just think, really focusing on community and connection and really, taking that moment to like be a good neighbor or, say hi to somebody and things like that. Those can really make a huge difference. And it might not feel like a big thing, but it really can be.
It really absolutely can. I completely agree with you. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Deanne, for joining us today. It was really great talking with you, and I'm so glad to have heard more about Assistance Plus and everything that you offer to the state of Maine and to our communities. So for information on NAMI Maine, please go to NAMI Maine's website where you'll be able to find more information on upcoming events such as the NAMI Maine Walk. And please remember to like and subscribe if you're interested in hearing more. And thank you so much for listening and joining us today.